What do you want?
All right, here we go. It's Marshall. It's NAMM 25. We got Ollie.
Nice to meet you.
Ollie, tell us what's new with Marshall.
So what's new? The first thing we've got this year, and probably the most important, are the two new modified units. So one we can see right here, we've got the JCM 800 modded. The thing about this, and the reason we sort of went for doing this, is because when people imagine the sound of an 800, they imagine some sort of boost in front of it rather than an 800 itself. And also, so many brands mod Marshalls and do what they want with it. So we thought, well, why not, if you're going to buy a Marshall, buy it straight from the source, straight from the factory in Britain, and get everything in there. And a quick overview of what we've got going on for the 800. We've got a mid shift, which is actually a mid boost. Just shifts everything in the mid range up a little bit. It's great for leads and stuff like that. Then you've got overdrive, which is in the middle, off. So all these can run as completely standard. That's just now a normal 800. In the middle it's off. To the left is a stage of clipping, and then to the right is basically more clipping, gain and more gain. And then you've got a tight switch, and what that's doing is shaving off all the sub frequencies really low down in the spectrum to really tighten up that bottom end. So when you're doing some fast chuggy playing, maybe more tailored towards metal or something like that, usually the low end can build up and sort of start to fart maybe a little bit in certain amps. So just having the flexibility to be able to do that and sort of cater for all genres with the 800 is kind of the way to go. And like I said, having almost a boost built into it is what everyone wants an 800 to sound like. So that's why we decided to do these.
Yeah, I noticed yesterday at the Global Media Day, they were talking about, I think, like 4 different ones. The JCM 800. What were some of the other 2 or 3?
Yeah, so we've got the 1959 modified unit, right, which is very similar to this. It's got a similar sort of switching setup. From left to right, we've got a clipping, turning it on and off. And then the next switch over is you get to choose between diode or transistor clipping. And then there's a bright cap as well. So when you play at low volume, sometimes the treble seems to come through a lot more than everything else. So when you're playing at low volumes, you can flip on the bright cap, and then all of a sudden everything's a bit more balanced. So you can play at those low volumes, because on the low input of channel 1 is where we've now put master volume, a true master volume, but it's pre-tone stack. So pre-EQ master volume. So you can set the gain to where you want it and then turn the whole thing down without having to sacrifice any tone like you would usually have to. If you wanted to turn a 59 down, usually you'd have to sacrifice a bit of gain in order to do that, and you do not have to do that anymore. And yeah, that's basically that one. We've also got the Studio Series JCM 900. So we've got a 20 watt JCM 900 that's voiced nearly identically, just 20 watts. So obviously there's a attenuation on the back as well. You can flip it down to 5 watts as well if you want. So it's great for bedroom playing. Maybe a touring rig where you don't really have like the van capacity or whatever. It's a great little thing. Fun fact about it as well, it's got the exact same reverb pop, spring reverb, full-size tank as the large version as well. So we've tried, there's no sacrifices whatsoever. Sounds great, just 20 watt format. And then the last new thing we've got from Marshall is we've got all the new pedals.
That's right.
So we've got a 959, they're all distortion pedals, basically preamp gain distortion pedals. 959 one, JCM 800, JCM 900, DSL, and JVM. And those are all the new boost pedals. They're all just different flavors of Marshall. They're not an amp in the box or anything like that. It's straight up just a distortion pedal. And you'll notice on some of them as well, there's a few controls on there that you wouldn't usually see on the actual amp it's based off of. So they're sort of more of a boost in the style of your favorite amp, whatever that might be.
That's beautiful. Now, obviously, what year did Marshall start?
I don't know.
50, 60?
I think it's 62.
62. There we go. Good year.
It was a great year.
No doubt. And I know the list is endless, but tell us about some of the iconic guitarists that have played or still play Marshall.
Yeah, sure. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, so some of the iconic artists we've had is obviously Slash, big JCM 800 guy, also had his own signature. playing the Silver Jubilees a lot as well back in the day. Zach Wilde, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai even played them for a tiny little period that not many people know about. I mean, I don't know. Come on, like nearly every iconic guitarist ever has played a Marshall at some point.
Edward Van Halen.
And I mean, look at the stacks. It's just that's what looks cool behind you, you know.
That's right. It becomes synonymous.
Exactly.
You go see Yngwie Malmsteen, and he's got like 100.
He's got his own signature amp, the YJM.
Okay.
And that thing is a monster. I've got one of them at the Marshall studio back in the UK.
I used to manage his first band, Steeler.
No way.
They were the first band in America. Of course, he went from there to Alcatraz and then solo.
Hell yeah.
It was hard to keep him doing anything but solo. But yeah, we were the entree to America and the world. He was sitting in his bedroom in Sweden before Steeler.
Yeah. No, phenomenal player.
Yeah.
But I think you have to be a Marshall player because, you know,
I remember as a teenager many years ago, I was a player, more on the business side, but I remember when I turned on the first Marshall, it was scary.
They're scary, they can be unforgiving, but you need to learn how to sort of tame it as you play.
Right. I'm like, I probably can't play this at home with my parents. I'd have to be in a rehearsal hall or a concert stage.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean,
really play this thing.
Well, that's why we did the studio series, the 20-watt heads, so you can now play at home.
Speaking of Edward Van Halen, I know it's famous that he had, what's the name of the little device he had got from a radio dealer that he could lower the volume.
Oh, the power amp attenuator.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So is that somewhat similar in a way? It's creating the big sound without the volume?
Sort of, yeah. I mean,
because before you had to have it at a certain volume to get that tone.
Nowadays, there's just funky ways of getting around it when you're doing all the circuitry. You can add in a few transistors or whatever along the way, and you can add in your master volume because.
Oh, it's called the Variac.
The Variac, yeah. Exactly. So it's similar theory, but different thing basically. It gets the same goal.
Well, looks like Marshall continues to lead the pack, man. Thank you so much, Ollie. Where are you based?
I'm based in Milton Keynes at Marshall's HQ over there.
Wow.
So I work in the.
How many employees are there?
How many employees do we have?
250, I think.
I think 250 there.
Okay.
Because it's where the main factory is, where all the British handmade stuff is made. And then I live across the car park in the recording studio there.
Oh wow.
Which is where I work.
Well, appreciate your time. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you at another NAMM.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.